Hey everybody, how you doing? Wow. I was reading some information and someone said, "Oh, the big beautiful bill and the cut's gonna start 2026." No, the cuts are here like right now. Right now. So in case you saw part A, this is shocking, surprising, alarming. So this young girl on the screen, listen to what her mother has to go through. This is why the Medicaid was needed. And as we were discussing in our home, I said, listen, I hate to tell you, I said, they're pretty much just gonna end. This is going to, well, I don't want to say it with the kid on the screen, but life itself, health will deteriorate for a lot of people, and you can go from there. I just don't want to say, with a kid on the screen. That's just me. But listen to what the issue is. Medicaid cuts, 2025, it's up.
Trina Martin's 9-year-old daughter, Ellie, has Down syndrome. She requires full-time basic care from her mom in additional specialized care that Martin says is not covered by primary insurance. She says her daughter was approved for the home and community-based waiver in May of 2024. But when it came time for her yearly reassessment,
got a letter that she had been denied. Her level of care no longer met the criteria.
Okay, so it's denied. Her level of care no longer met the criteria. However, she requires what kind of care?
Martin's 9-year-old daughter, Ellie, has Down syndrome. She requires full-time basic care from her mom in additional specialized care that Martin says is not covered by primary insurance.
So full-time basic care from her mom plus specialized care. That's what's needed. So that lets me know the mother probably has to stay at home. Can't work. Can't. Two incomes? Yeah, probably not. So what happens since the mom's full-time basic care? Probably with the dad. What if he loses his job and there's no income? Full-time basic care plus specialized care. So she qualified before. How in the heck does full-time basic care not qualify? That should be a no-brainer. Oh, she even appealed. Reapplied, appeal. What happened? Let's hear it.
She says her daughter was approved for the home and community-based waiver in May of 2024. But when it came time for her yearly reassessment,
got a letter that she had been denied. Her level of care no longer met the criteria, which for us was quite interesting because the criteria had not changed, nor did her medical diagnoses.
Martin says her caseworker resubmitted the application right away.
Immediately denied again.
Isn't it something? So resubmit the paperwork. Yeah, not appeal, correction. Resubmit the paperwork, and what did it say? Not all couple of days, couple of weeks, immediately denied again. So even when you need full-time care for your child plus the specialized care, which is not covered by the private insurance, we're on our own. No one's coming to help. No one's coming to save us. Americans, we are on our own. You think they don't know what they're doing at the top? Of course they do.
Diagnoses.
Martin says her caseworker resubmitted the application right away.
Immediately denied again. They upheld that. So then that forces us into a whole appeal process.
Martin isn't the only mom in Kentucky dealing with a denial for Medicaid. Angela Ford has an 8-year-old son with Down syndrome, and she says last year he met the criteria for the highest level of care. But this year, she says he was denied coverage.
I have to do a lot of daily living things for Jack. Bathing, feeding, dressing, toileting, etc. So
her son, bathing, feeding, dressing, going to the bathroom, that's going to be a full-time job. Again, do you think these two women, anyone facing this, any parent, can really work and get a job? How? How? It's not a 9 to 5. This is like, all your waking hours. This is her son.
For Jack: bathing, feeding, dressing, toileting, etc. So those all qualified under the home and community-based waiver.
After 4 received the denial,
I've reached out to state representatives, lawyers. To me, it's just awful that, they would deny a child with a permanent lifelong genetic disability.
Did you hear that? Permanent, lifelong genetic disability. A permanent, lifelong genetic disability. So it's not going to get any better. And even if there was some kind of therapeutic program that could make it better, let me guess, probably wouldn't qualify for it. I keep saying, no one's coming to help. We're on our own. All the Americans. Well, whatever your nationality, we're on our own. Well, I'm 5'3", I'm 6'4", we're on our own. Small, tall, on your own. I live in the North, I'm in the South, I'm in Cali, I'm in Louisiana. We're on our own. This is crazy. Unbelievable. So can you imagine parents? And what if there's a parent, if they're, I don't know how all this works. Like, what if it's a single parent, and maybe if they're getting income? Can you imagine being in this situation? And if you lose your job or you lose your income, what are you supposed to do? I just like to think ahead, and not that I'm saying this, we don't wish it. Let's say these two ladies, the first one I know is married. Let's say they're both married. So what happens if something happens with the husband and he only has minimum life insurance? Oh, we got $100,000 with a mortgage. Will it pay the mortgage off? Even if it paid the mortgage off, you're still in trouble. Well, he's got $500,000. How much on the house? Oh, $375, $399. You got 101 left. Okay, to pay the house off. What about the taxes and insurance? What about taxes and insurance? It better be a pension somewhere. And the reason I say this is that life happens. And right now, the way things are, you can be middle class, have a nice home. It may not last. It could go away any moment. Any moment. And people facing not just food insecurity, but housing insecurity, it will work on you mentally. Think about it. What if the providers, I'm assuming the husbands, because the women are at home with the children, and there's no pension plan or a check taking care of your kid? Life happens. But what if the other part happens and the provider is no longer there? Anything could happen, transitions. Is there a program to help the women out then? Life insurance may not be there. Like I said, even if it's money to pay off the house, what about the taxes and the insurance? This is how hard, they say life is lifing. This is how hard it is. One more time. And you're thinking, oh, let's resubmit it because this person, this is permanent. It's not gonna cure itself. There's no therapy that can correct this. Is permanent. Denied again.
Says he was denied coverage.
I have to do a lot of daily living things for Jack: bathing, feeding, dressing, toileting, etc. So those all qualified under the home and community-based waiver.
After 4 received the denial,
I've reached out to state representatives, lawyers. To me, it's just awful that, they would deny a child with a permanent lifelong genetic disability Medicaid, who was was previously on it.
Martin and Four say mothers of disabled children.
Permanent lifelong genetic disability. You qualified before. You require. This is wow. Permanent lifelong genetic disability. Look at all the money we spent on wars. Look at all the money spent on illegal immigration. Look at all the money spent on the politicians. They get free health care. How do we solve this? Not by voting for the same people. Sometimes you gotta forget about red, forget about blue, just need a whole new slate. Maybe that's the issue. Maybe that's the resolve. I don't know. Let me know. Because the people in charge, they're gonna keep doing what they do, and then the ones that they put in place next, it's gonna be the same old thing over and over again. The same playbook. These two appear to be middle class women. Can you imagine poor women? Can you imagine? Permanent genetic disability. Qualified before, and I think he qualified at the very, very top, but not anymore. Anyway, let me know what you think. Are the lawmakers just, there's no conscience? I've been saying, we are on our what? We're on our own. No way around it. And if this happens again to the middle class, imagine. And I don't know if there's going to be like a criteria for people that are, extremely low income. Maybe they'll keep theirs. I'm not sure. I don't trust the system. I just don't. But maybe that's it. Maybe they're going by, I don't know if they're going by an assets check. But this is where we are. So what are you supposed to do? This is where we are. Let me know what you all think. Life is changing. I mean, the fabric of the country, the landscape, it is changing so before our very eyes. And not in a good way. So thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel. Let me know what you all think. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and share. Be alert, be aware. Take care of yourself and your mental health. People going through this here, it will just probably drive you crazy. Again, take care of yourself, and also take care, not just your physical, but your mental health. And I'm out.